he was in the news basically talking about balancing, football and school, and everything. So last year, he was recovering from a shoulder injury, so he didn't get any, PT, but they were talking about, his studies. So he had a Q&A with Bleacher Report, Matt Hayes, and he was explaining, about the struggles of balancing, academics and playing D1 football, which is, it is a lot, So he said, don't get me started. I love school, but it's hard. It's cool because we're learning more applicable stuff in my major, which is economics, not just the prerequisite stuff that designed to filter out people. But football really dents my ability to take some classes that I need. There are a bunch of classes that are only offered one time. There was a class this spring I had to take, but there was a conflict with spring football. So, he's going in basically talking about, hey, you got to make some decisions, I got this, football thing. They depending on me, blah, 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 and then they asked him if football takes precedent over school, and he responded, I didn't say that. So he was laughing. He said, look, football and school don't go together. And this is where, it started heating up for people. He said they just don't. Trying to do both is like trying to do two full-time jobs. There are guys who have no business being in school, but they're here because this is the path to the NFL. There's no other way. Then there's the other side that says, raise the SAT eligibility requirements. Okay, raise the SAT requirement at Alabama and see what kind of team they have. You lose athletes and then the product on the field suffers. So, first mistake that he did, he brought up Alabama, because that is going to just basically roll everybody out. People like 334 Bama boy, and they going to get and try to tap your head in. The other thing is now he has a point in some of the stuff that he's saying, because if you have ever been a D1 or just a college student athlete, it's hard, but definitely D1, definitely if you're a quarterback or somebody that's they're depending on, to play. I know a couple people that played D1 at a high level, at a very big name school, and it was a task, for them, but ain't nobody about to feel sorry for you. People are going to say you signed on for this. And then you're going to bring up Alabama, basically, referencing, they just got it, to me, it's like you're referencing, hey, they got a bunch of, dudes that ain't that smart, but they know how to play football. You do that, it takes it. Now, could be taken the wrong way or whatever. The one thing I hope they don't have Alabama on their schedule this year. I don't think they do. 334 Bama boy can probably tell me better, out there. But all I'm saying is you don't want those problems. You need to just keep your mouth shut. He was fine where he was talking about the struggles, and everything. And when he was saying football and school don't mix, most of those, sport student athletes, I mean, it is two full-time jobs, but I can say the one thing it probably does do, if you do it right, if you're there for the right reasons and you're balancing, the sports and your academics and whatever, when you get out, how to juggle life, so it does help out, when you get out. Now he's young, so please do not destroy this kid, people are also, kind of thinking, brought up the whole Cardell Jones when he was just like, what are we here for? We're here to play football, and all that stuff, which is true. There's a lot of guys that's just there to play football. But going out, saying it in the media, saying it out where someone can read it is not going to do any good for you. It's just one of those things, man. Unfortunately, even if you are right, people don't care. They're going to criticize you. They're going to say, hey, you getting all this money for a scholarship, blah, 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 on it. So hopefully someone pulled him to the side and said, look, man, you just don't want that battle. That's just not something you want, at least not right now. Graduate, then, start talking about that, but not right now. Last thing, you got enough on your plate as is. You just said school and you're a D1 quarterback. Don't add this onto your plate. So Josh Rosen, hopefully he has a good season or whatever goes on from this point. But please, from here on out, don't say anything like that again, bruh. Please. I'm just trying to look out for y'all. And looking out, I see DJ Queen, who's in the building as well. DJ Queen trying to put her government name out here. I'm not saying it. See, DJ Queen trying to get me in trouble. She put her government name out here. I say it, then she gets mad at me, and then I got to watch my back for the rest of the year. Nope, I'm not doing it. So DJ Queen is in the building. Shouts out to DJ Queen. And also Ben of BS3 Sports. Y'all heard him on the drops that you were just listening to. He is on Saturdays on the Two Live Stews Radio Network. So shouts out to Ben. He comes on at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And he is a Dallas Cowboy fan, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope his team goes 0-16. That's just it. Now, Big L said, did he lie? Nah, he didn't lie. I'm just, what I'm saying, Big L, is that you just don't want those problems, man. That's not something, it's not a winning battle. That's what I'm trying to get at. Even the Fat Five talked about how, they were making money, the schools were making money and all that stuff off them and everything. It wasn't a lie, but it's just a losing battle. And the last thing you need is another distraction, in your life. Because if he could win from this and something would change or something, yeah. But Josh Rosen, I'll be honest. One, he out west. Two, I ain't never heard of him until someone, posted this. Now, maybe I'm just been living under a rock, but all I'm saying is that the way this works, this game works, it got to come from someone either bigger than Josh Rosen or someone even bigger that's bigger than Josh Rosen. How about that? Let's just say that, But Josh Rosen, watch out, man. Just watch out. That's all I'm saying. Hard Knocks. We already talked about, in previous episodes about what, it was probably going to be. The first episode, I'll be honest, I think it came out. I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching it to find out, what the first episode is going to be about. I am, entertained by it, and we're just taking a real quick break to talk about, Hard Knocks. I know they followed Jameis Winston back to his hometown, where he started. You got guys like, Quan Alexander that they'll probably, put on there. Now that O.J. Howard is there, I'm sure he's going to be in the mix. They'll be talking about Doug Martin and these games he's going to miss. And I'm breaking stuff up here in the studio, but I just want to see this show because I want to see just where they're at right now, because we've all been talking about how Tampa is the team that you got to look out for. And the one thing that Hard Knocks to me has done, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like with those cameras there, it kind of impacts your team. That's why I don't, guys like, Belichick and everything, they don't want them there. They don't want them there because they ain't got time for that. And I hope that's the case, because I don't want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be good at all. Or I don't want them to win games. How about that? Guys can still play well. I just don't want them to win games. But we're going to get a big time look at where they're headed. Where they're headed. What could be this team's future or destiny. Is Jameis Winston exactly where people got him? Where he's about to take off and go into that next tier? Possibly taking over the NFC South? That's what I want to see, on Hard Knock. All the funny stuff and, all the crazy stuff they talk about. Yeah, that's cool. That's entertaining or whatever. But I'm trying to get an outlook of what this season might be and what, the rest of the NFC South got to worry about. on it. So that's why I'll be watching it. So as I watch these, I'll give you updates, my opinions, of how things went, what's going to happen, and we'll go from there. Sluggo said Tampa is led by Dirk Cutter, who we couldn't get out of Atlanta soon enough. So Jameis will do what Jameis does, but they will be limited by its leadership. So basically, Sluggo was saying that Dirk Cutter is the person that's going to hold them back. Sluggo, if I'm wrong, correct me on that. If he does, I'm fine with that. I just don't want him to win any games, because they looked pretty good last year. It just looked like they couldn't put it together for their entire game. And then you pick up Deshaun Jackson, you go draft O.J. Howard, you got basically all your defensive guys coming back, for the most part. And it was Dirk Cutter's first year, so second year, you look for improvement. Kind of like a little bit the Atlanta Falcons, Sluggo. Remember, that first year, Matt Ryan, everybody was like, what the hell is Matt Ryan doing? And then the second year, he was MVP of the league. So, it could be that, I don't want it to be, because they scare me. They scare me. They really scare me, but I don't want it to be. So, we'll keep in tune with that, and we'll talk about episodes, through the preseason, and of course we'll touch on some funny stuff that goes on there because we want to also entertain. So, Sluggo said I was correct in my breaking down his comment, so I appreciate that. I thought I was, but I just want to make sure I'm getting my listeners' viewpoints across. So when people who are listening to the show that they can't read the chat, then they actually know what other people are saying in the chat, so that they are informed as well, and then they can chime in next time, because you can just join in the show, next time, and be like, yo, Sluggo was talking that stuff, last episode, man, and I don't agree with it, or I agree with it, and and go on from there, So that's why I read out the chats, make sure everyone gets their viewpoint out and is understood by the group, Big L said, look at Jelani. Ryan was not an MVP in his first 2 years. Stop it. Now, Big L, I never said Matt Ryan was the MVP. What I was referencing, see, you're going to make me go to my Stephen A. Smith, Big L. What I was saying, Big L, that's how Stephen A. talked, Big L. What I was referencing, Big L, was when Kyle Shanahan took over the first year with Matt Ryan, he kind of struggled. Well, he did. He struggled in the offense. And I said the second year, which was last year, he was the MVP. And I was referencing Dirk Cutter in his first year as head coach, which was last year with Jameis Winston. Now it's going into a second year, and that is what I was worried about. That's all I was saying, Big L. That's how Stephen A. talked. That's all I was saying, Big L. Jeez. So, yeah, Big L, get off my back, son. But let's get off this Hard Knocks, and get into some preseason games. So we got some preseason games coming up this week. Right now, we got one going on. I think it's in the fourth quarter, so no one really cares. This game is probably almost already over. But week one, here are some games to watch. Whoa, let me go back. Big L said, Jelani, your hairline is close to Stephen A. Smith, too. Wow, Big L. You gonna come at me like that? Wow. Man, I know you're not talking with them tight-ass shirts you be wearing, Big L. Sorry. Did I say that? Let's move on. Preseason games to watch. So first one is going to be the Atlanta Falcons versus the Miami Dolphins. And it's nothing about the Atlanta Falcons because everyone's waiting to see what they're going to do for the regular season. It's really about what the Miami Dolphins is about. And this Cutler situation. So it's like, how is Cutler going to look? How is he going to perform? How long is he going to play? does he really have a grasp, on the